What's going on, everybody? Pete with Auto Repair Tips. I got a 19 Chevrolet, and here's the story behind this one. The guy brought it to me about 3 weeks ago. It had a draw on the battery. He left it here. I put my scanner on it. It had a bunch of codes in there. And before I wanted to continue on checking for a draw, I told him, I said, we need to get rid of some of these codes. The door lock didn't work. It had something to do with the security. Did some research on it and need to be reflashed. So I called up. I use Snap-on pass-through. Never had an issue before. Called Snap-on up, set up my appointment. 2 days later, they called me up. Hey, let's get into it. I hooked everything up. Then they turned around and called me back and said, oh yeah, that one we can't reflash. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I hate that. So I called the customer up. I told him, I said, my company I use, Snap-on, would not reflash it. So he brought it to the dealer. Dealership reflashed the computer, got the door locks working, got the security all taken care of. So he parked it on his lot, you know, kind of hoping maybe that would take care of the problem. Sure enough, sat overnight, battery's dead. So in this video, we're going to try and figure it out. Let's get into it. So what we got is on the engine code, we have the brake system control module. It's requesting for the light because the test failed since the last time it was cleared. Wheel speed sensor, supply circuit, low voltage, test failed. Control module power 1, that's a history code. Control module power 2 is a history code. System voltage too low. Airbag light, control modules, again, power below threshold. That's all because the battery was super low. In the body control module, we have the left exterior flood lamp control open. See, that could be something right there towards the draw. Right exterior flood lamp circuit open. Fog lamps shorted to ground. That system failed. Then you have the washer relay that failed. Let me it's got a lot of crap in here. Lost communication. Bad thing about it is when the battery went dead, it threw a lot of these extra codes on here. But I'm real curious about the flood lamp. Diagnostics and see what that tells me. Excuse me, a B092 alpha. Nothing on that. Nothing. Sometimes when I hit that, it gives you like a little explanation of what something might happen. What a tech found at a dealership or something. Kind of like having tech notes. Nope. So let's do this. Let's try this. Let me go into the body control module. Let's look for flood lamps and see can I make them work. Body control module. Functional tests. Output controls. Let's see. We got fog lights too that said it was shorted. Let's see if we can get them on. So I can look at floodlights. I got fog lamps here. Turn ignition on, and keep engine off. Please make sure the vehicle is in service mode. It is in service mode. To get this one in service mode, you hold this button down for about 30 seconds, and then it'll go in service mode, and that way the battery will stay on. So let me walk out there and let's check these fog lights and see if they're on. That one is off, and that one is off. We're going to hit it on. That one is on, and that one is on. So they're definitely not shorted to ground. I'm not sure why that even popped up, unless the guy did something when he was putting the battery in, because he did put a new battery in it. So what we're going to do is, let's do this. We're going to clear all the codes out, and let's see which one pops back first. Clear all codes. Yes, I do. I'm not listening to that. All right, all the codes are cleared. Let's go back into the body control module real quick. Functional output controls. Let me look at the floodlights, see if I got them on here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Let's see, clear. Fog lamps, turn lamps, bed cargo lamps. It might be talking about the bed cargo lamps. Let's do that. Let's turn, yeah, because you got a right cargo lamp, right front turn signal, left exterior flood lamp. And it said it was open, so let's hit that. What the hell's a flood lamp? Whatever it is, it's gonna be on the left side. All right, that's gonna be your floodlight, and it is definitely on. So we don't have an open circuit on that either. It's working. Let's cut it off. And we're off. All right, let me start this thing up and let's see if any codes pop up. Right now all the codes are off. I'm gonna let it run for a few minutes. If I don't see any codes pop up in like 4 or 5 minutes sitting here running, we're gonna go ahead and go on to the draw. All right, so what we're gonna do to check this draw is, I've got the hood open, I've got the latch closed, so the hood thinks it's closed. If you don't do that, it's gonna think the hood's open. I've got the doors open, I have them latched so that the car thinks that the doors are closed. There's a fuse box on this side, there is one on the other side, and there is one under the hood. What we're gonna do is I use a power probe. It's called the PP draw or PP draw. I plug it in, I power it up. It's got a full battery. I hit smart output, and right now it's got 600 milliamps worth of draw. I have the battery hooked up. Let me show you what happens when I disconnect the battery. You really don't want no more than 50 milliamps. Disconnect the battery. Right, set it down there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to let the car go to sleep. I'm going to give it about 30 minutes. We'll come back and check on it. And see, right now you're at 4.65 amp draw. So it's at least drawing 4 amps right now. But we're going to give it, like I say, 30 minutes. We'll come back and check on it. We want that below 50 milliamps. All right, so it's been about an hour, and you can see that we're still sitting at about 374 milliamps. So we definitely got to draw somewhere. So the tool I like to use is an amp hound. It's really simple. You just cut it on, pick the type of fuse, the value of the fuse. Once you've done all that, you start testing your fuses, and if it's a good fuse, it'll tell you that it's good. If it's got a draw, it tells you there's a draw. I'll show you how it works. So what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna test all the mini fuses. I'll pick out mini. We'll test all the 10 amps first. So I'll go in here, select 10 amp. I'll hold it down, and it's ready. When you see the 3 dots, you are ready to test. And let's see if there's any issues with it. I'll show you what it does. All right, so right now, let's see if you can see that or not. Let's see. It shows zeros. It's a good fuse, and there's no draw. There's a little buzzer, so I can hear it too when it comes on. What we'll do is we'll continue on like that. I'll test all the fuses, and when I come across one that I see there's an issue, I'll let you know. So let me try to set this up. I found one with an issue. So we're gonna hit a 15, that I know is a good one, and there's no issues with it. All right, we're zeroed out. That fuse is good, and there's no issues. The first one I went to was on the side here. It's 0.18. There's a problem there. And that fuse is called the 1 info, whatever the hell that meant. The next one is on the top side. That's a good one, good one, good one. This one right here, 0.39, definitely a problem. Good, good. So it's these two right. This one is worse than the other one. That's 0.39, that's 0.40. It's one of those fuses. It's a mini fuse with 3 circuits on it. It's got 3 prongs on it. I guess it works a few different things. Let me look to see what it is. The first one, it's a F41. It's a F41. It's a 10 amp info 1, whatever the hell that meant. The next one is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over. It's F15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's F32. I think. Hold on a second here. It's F32. That is going to be a 15 amp CEO DLC. All right, so let me go look up a schematic on those and let's see what's going on with that. And once I get a little bit of understanding of what they run and what's going on, I'll let you know. So let me show you what I found. We're sitting at 374 milliamps. This fuse right here, when I pull that fuse out, watch what happens. Much better. 374 milliamps. Pull it out, we go to 0. That is your data link connector SEO, special equipment options. That's what that fuse works. All right, so here's what we got going on. This is the wire or the fuse that's causing all the issues, F32. If you look right here, I'm only showing you one side of the fuse right now. This is the side that goes from the hot all times, goes through that fuse and goes down to your DLC. When this fuse is plugged in, you have almost a 357 milliamp draw. Now I pull that fuse out and the draw goes away, but you're only seeing one side of the fuse. On the actual car and on another screen right up the side here is the other side of that, and that's the CEO side. It's called the special equipment operations or something like that. Now when all three are plugged in, there's a draw. Well, unplug all three, the draw goes away. What I did last night was I got a 2-prong fuse and I put it on the hot side and I put it over to the CEO side. The draw went away. Came in this morning, 15 hours later, 12 hours later, and the car started right up, no issues. So I took that 2-prong fuse out and I stuck it on the side here that goes from the hot side to the DLC, and as soon as I did, the draw came back immediately, 300 and some amps. So what I believe's happened is this wire somewhere in that dash right here, this wire somewhere in that dash is touching something that's activating it, or it's touching something that's turning on, causing that draw. So we're gonna run some tests. I'm gonna go out to the car and show you exactly what I'm talking about. We're gonna find this wire and I'm gonna snip that wire right here, right up by that fuse panel. If that draw goes away, then my theory is correct. All right, let's head out to the car and let me show you out there. I do have the fuse box pulled. Let's go out there and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I took the fuse box out just to be able to access it a little bit better. This is the back side. The back side actually has relays and fuses in it. So if one of them blow, you gotta take it out anyway. And this is the front side. And the green connector we're looking at is right here. And I'm gonna find pin number 27, and it should be a red and white wire. And then I'm gonna ohm it out to the, I think it's pin 16 over here. That should be red and white. And they should, if they ohm out, that's when we'll cut it over here and then we'll see if the draw goes away. All right, here's a DLC connector and I back probe the red and white wire. That's the one that's supposed to be always hot. I got the meter set to ohms. If I'm reading this correctly, shit, now I done lost it. I think it's this one right here. That is the one. Take it up and we're good. So that is your pin number 27. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back up in here. I'm gonna snip it right here. And then we're gonna plug it back together and keep our fingers crossed that that draw went away. If it's not, worst case scenario is I'll put it back together and we'll continue on. But everything I've looked at or tested so far is leading that direction. Like I say, that wire is only supposed to go from here to there. So there's no way that that's gonna put out a draw because it's not doing anything. It's just a 12-volt wire. So like I said, hopefully, you notice I'm rambling on. I'm trying to convince y'all and me that this is a good thing to do. All right, let me clip it, get it back together, and we'll check it out. All right, guys, so let me tell you where I'm at. Originally, I was thinking that the data link connector, the 12-volt wire going from this fuse box to that connector may have been touching something, causing that draw. So I started looking at it, and then I got to thinking, you know, let me make a phone call to the people who made the tool because something just didn't add up. And here's a good example of just not knowing your tools. That wire, pin 16 on the data link connector to this 15 amp fuse right here. Basically, if there's a draw, it's gonna read it on that wire. So when I was taking the readings here and getting it, I'm like, okay, that's my draw. But I was totally wrong. So the guy said, no, just you need to look a little further. You have to ignore that one wire. So if you're using that PP draw, and you decide to, and you hook it up and you come across a fuse and it reads 365 or 200 or whatever your milliamp draw is, make sure it's not the data link connector fuse, because that is the one that's going to read whatever that tool says. All right, that being said, I did find 2 more fuses, and let's see, they were F45 and F49. Both of those are battery positive wires. They feed the body control module. If I unplug 45 by itself, nothing happens. If I unplug 49 by itself, nothing happens. When I unplug them both, the draw goes away. On fuse number 45, there's 170 milliamp draw. On fuse number 49, there's like 150 amp milli draw. That's almost what we have. We have 45 to 66 milliamps. So that's almost what we have. I've tested every other fuse and haven't come up with anything. Fuse number 45 goes to your X2 connector on the body control module, and fuse number 49 goes to your X1 connector. So that's the first 2 connectors on the body control module. When I unplug them at the body control module, the draw goes away. So what I need to do now is, and we're back to square one, where the dealership just said, they told him they just put a brand new body control module in there and everything tested out. So I kind of need to either call the customer and see if he wants me to pursue it, or does he want to bring it back to the dealer and let them, maybe something didn't flash correctly. You know, I mean, that's a good possibility. But there's some common between the X1 and X2 connectors that are actually linked together, which is causing this draw, if that makes any sense. But that's where we're at. X1, X2 connector on the body control module is our draw, and I've confirmed about unplugging it at the body control module, watching the draw go away. But again, I don't want to dig too deep into that if he's going to bring it back to the dealer and let them try reflashing it. My next move is, let me call the used car guy who sent me this. Let's see what he wants to do. If he wants to take it back to them, that's fine. If he wants me to continue on, I'm good with that too. But that's where we're at right now. Let me call this guy and let's see what he wants to do. All right, so here's where we're at. Believe it or not, I got it down to 0 milliamps. After tracing everything on the body control module, I called the guy up. He said he did not want to go back to the dealer to have them do anything. So I was noticing it kept flashing a U code, and the U code would come back and go away. So it said it was, when you looked it up, it was a U20, hold on a second. So here's what it come up with, U1526. It would be there, then go away, be there, then go away. I looked it up. There was no, in my service data, I didn't see anything, that code didn't even exist. So I plugged it into like a generic search through the Mitchell 1, and it popped up that was a heated seat body control module. So I took out the back seat, and I'll show you that in a minute, and unplugged the wire going into the seat because it said the body control module was in the back seat. And I've got everything hooked up like it was, and it was 0 milliamps. I'm gonna plug it back up. I mean, maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't, but let me plug it back up because that's the only thing I've unplugged. Let's see if it comes back, unless it's like reset itself or something. No, did not come back. So I'm wondering, maybe me messing with the connector or me doing something, but right now we have no milliamp draw. I'm gonna leave this unplugged because this is the only thing that we've unplugged. And just to show you that it's definitely working, let's see, you can see it pretty good, it looks like. I'm gonna open the door, and you can see now we have a 5.73 amp draw. I'm gonna lock the door, let it go back to sleep, and it should go away. Now I'm gonna try different, once I show you that this will go back to sleep, just takes a minute or two. I'm gonna plug that back up, then I'm gonna open and close the door and see what happens. I'm just gonna try different, just different situations to see if I can make it come on. 0 milliamps. That's freaking awesome. All right, let me, you know what, let me plug it back up. Let's open the door again, then close it and see what happens. There's a few things I wanna show you. One is there was water back there on that seat and water at the bottom. I mean, it's very possible that some water got on that. This time what I did was I plugged it back up, opened and closed the door, then I unplugged it. No, I've got it still plugged up, my bad. Let's see, hopefully it goes away. Maybe it was me messing with the water, you know. 0, nice. We're gonna leave it unplugged though, because I am 100% sure this is the issue. So let me show you where I'm at. This is the back seat, this is where your back would sit. If you go inside here and look, this is the plug that I disconnected right here. If you look right here, let's see, come on. You can see it now. Look right here. See that? It's water. It's all along the whole area. All along, runs all along here. And it's super wet. You can even look at the mold back here. So it's possible somewhere in this wiring harness, because I was yanking on it, you know, maybe it's got a bad spot somewhere. And again, that's the plug that I unplugged right there. And the module is actually in the back. It's in the very back right here. All right, we're not going, I talked to him, he just wanted me to unplug what I can unplug to get it to stop. So by unplugging that, we can see that we're still sitting at 0, and I'm going to leave it like this for a little bit to see what happens. We'll leave this hooked up, and I'm going to graph it right here, put it on graph, so we'll graph it over time. Can actually record it and see if there's any spikes that ever happen. All right, so that was kind of a crazy finish to a repair. Regardless, we got the gas truck fixed. It's been sitting about 3 hours now, and the milliamp draw has not come back. Me unplugging it and yanking on that wire, and I hit the module up there a couple times. May have jolted something. We're not going to plug it back up because, like I said earlier, he doesn't want it, don't care. He just don't want it to drain the battery. All right, that being said, I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.